Alright, so I've had a little bit of time to work on 7.0. It's finally out. It's here. We're playing it. It's live. And I've already gotten my first character to level 80. So let's take a look at some of the things that we need to know, some of the things that you might want to keep in mind. So I did go ahead and deactivate strongholds down to 3, and I had no problems with conquest at all. You probably can keep all of them active and still be able to do it quite easily. Looking through the conquest list, there really wasn't much that was going to get in your way of making conquest before getting to level 80. Most of these things you have to go out of your way to do. The biggest one was the gain 5 levels. So Companion Influencer, I went ahead and did this on a toon that wasn't going to hit 80 to get the conquest rewards. And yeah, got that out of the way right away. But the 5th level that I gained got me to 80 anyway, so it just made me a little bit closer to that conquest goal. So yeah, really don't even bother deactivating strongholds. I don't think it's worth it. I think just go ahead and level up using the story. That's the thing though, is the story gives you so much freaking experience. I did 3 missions in total in the story so far. I'm not even close to being done the story, and I'm at level 80. It just gives insane amounts, so it's going to keep you up. So you can see now I have the reward for Medals of Accommodation. This is not a conquest bonus you can get below level 80. They've changed that compared to the PTS. Not super surprised, but a little disappointed. So I can go ahead now, go and use the token here that I've stockpiled quite a few of, and I can finish off my conquest right away. You'll notice too, I've also been getting some gear crates along the way for completing each part of the story, and you can see it actually tells you that what you're going to get. So item rating 312 is what it wants to give me. So there we go, pop personal conquest, boom, 200 medals of accommodation, some tech frags. We also got some 318 gear crates as well for doing some of the story as well. Doesn't matter though, because we're going to head over to the supply section of fleet and get ourselves our first set of 320 gear. Oh, I forgot to go start the legendary implant quest so I could get the charges from doing conquest. Rip. Oh well. So while we're waiting for him to let us talk to him again, we can go buy our gear. Rip, rip, rip.
Again?
So now we can open up our character sheet here. And I've already given myself a loadout, so I've renamed it. I've given myself a loadout. I've gone under my combat style tab and I've picked the things that I want to pick in my ability tree. You can see that in the loadout, which ones are the ones that I've selected for each level. All my gear has augments and everything. Now, because I'm just buying gear, it's not going to destroy the augments. If you're using the upgrade path, remember that will destroy them. So just be very careful when you go to a vendor to do an actual upgrade. I love how it's still telling me my old gear is actually better than my new gear. So let's take a look at what we've actually got for stats. Oh, they've never fixed this. Have they? That's so frustrating that they've never fixed that. So let's go and augment our gear and get a better idea of what we're looking at. So if we look at our details here in our character tab and we take a look at our accuracy, so I'm getting that 109% you need to hit 110%. So just so you know, PvE enemies have up to, depending on their level, they have up to a 10% chance to avoid your attacks. So you want to have your accuracy sitting at 110%. So we're going to go into my legacy bank, and I'm going to end up grabbing a few accuracy augments at some point to put on, but for right now, I can get away with putting on different augments as I'm currently hitting my accuracy targets. So in general, this 320 gear is looking pretty decent. Like, you know, my set bonus doesn't work anymore, so there's no reason to keep wearing my previous set. And yeah, so there we have it. It's pretty much worth putting on 320 gear, especially if you're going to be augmenting it. It's totally worth it, so I'm going to finish ripping out augments from my old gear and finish augmenting up. Alright, let's just open up a couple of these gear crates, see what kind of stuff, even though I'm not going to be using it at all. Medals of Accommodation 6, so that's nice. Let's see, this time I got 51 Medals of Accommodation, which is really nice, and then Jawa Scrap. Now let's deconstruct some of the lower level gear, the 306 gear that I previously had equipped, and see what we get from those. So yeah, as I expected, no Medals of Accommodation from that lower item rating gear. And now we're back at our legendary implant quest, and we're just going to talk to him, and then he's going to give us a device where we need to charge it up. You can also look in your mission log to see the actual mission itself here. So had I been a little bit smarter and not so eager to show you guys stuff in making this video, I would have talked to this guy and gotten 34 charges for popping my conquest. Oops. Flashpoints and operations via group finder, 2 charges. That's going to be a very slow way to do it. In general, completing flashpoints, that's pretty nice. So you get that in addition to using the group finder, which is great. Master difficulty could be a little bit challenging to get into right away. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So some other things, PvP matches, that's a lot of charges for just doing PvP. You don't even have to win it. Daily area weekly missions, 10 charges, and completing weekly heroic missions. So I'm going to get a lot of my charges just by farming up gear and gear currency. So most of these charges I'm going to get are going to come from the daily area weekly mission, the weekly heroic mission, and doing flashpoints through the activity finder and getting those weeklies completed. I did pick up at level 75 the weekly quest for the veteran mode flashpoints just to see what would happen, and it has updated the quest to show me that I'm actually eligible to now get this crate. So this crate was not originally there before I hit level 80 as one of the rewards. I did not test yet if you can actually complete it partially, like say two of them as you're leveling up, and then on the third one, wait until you're level 80. Okay, so I'm a little scattered with my thoughts. Let's pull everything back together and let's look at a little bit of a focus of some of the things that I did before getting on and getting up to 80 and showing you guys all this stuff. So I went in, renamed my first loadout. You can make extra loadouts if you plan on doing combat styles right away or if you want to set up multiple. I just wanted to get into playing, so I just simply named it. I went through my ability tree and I picked everything out of my ability tree that I wanted. You've got all of these ones that have 3 options in the middle here. You have to pick one of those 3. The defaults are not always the best. And then of course we had the quick bar issue. The quick bars got a little bit screwed up. So yeah, just expect that. For whatever reason, your quick bar 6 is copying another quick bar in the game. So maybe your 6 copies your 4 or your 6 copies your 5. I don't know what it is, but 6 copied one of my other quick bars and moved all the icons onto it. So I had to manually move all the icons back to my real quick bar 5. And on top of that, it deleted the hotkeys that were set up for that quick bar, so I had to set them up again. So just expect that. Some of your other abilities might be missing. You can now search them by name if you know what they are. But yeah, I had to put a few abilities back on the bar. And of course, with the ability tree, some of the abilities will disappear, come back, or change entirely. So be prepared for a few of those small little changes. I went ahead, took a look at all the mission stuff, confirmed that until you hit level 80, you're pretty much making 0 progress towards a new gear grind. So again, your goal is to make 80 as fast as you can. I did deactivate a bunch of strongholds. I don't think that's actually necessary. You should be able to keep all of your strongholds intact. And by doing the new story, it gives insane amounts of XP. You should be able to easily make it to level 80 before you hit Conquest. Just use a complimentary minor class mission experience boost if you have one of those kicking around, because honestly, you just need the experience from the story. It's insane. 2 levels from completing 1 mission in the story. The bonus missions, I did them. Not super critical to do them for leveling up. But yeah, you can definitely go ahead and do them if you want. Then once I actually hit level 80 and my stuff stopped being useful, we want to go over to the legendary implant vendor. We got our legendary implant quest. Then get your conquest once you have the legendary implant quest to help charge that up. Now you can just go back to playing the story if you want. There's really no reason to do a big gear grind once you've hit 320. So you get your conquest, you get your medals of commendation, you buy yourself a set of 320 gear. It is an upgrade, 2 implants with accuracy, but when I get my legendaries, these will be replaced with something that doesn't have accuracy stat. It depends on what legendary you're buying. That allowed me to hit the 110%, which is pretty awesome. I threw in all my augments. I totally think it's worth augmenting 320 gear. Just make sure that you save them, pull them back out whenever you go to upgrade gear, or they will get destroyed when you actually upgrade that piece of gear. And then I had a bug that I encountered while doing the story, and it turns out that if you have any bugs where you can't progress in your story, you can't find the mission, you're not in the right place, the best thing to do is just hop to your stronghold or go to another planet, travel somewhere outside of the mission, and then the launch button will reappear for the current mission you're on, and you can just hit the launch button while not in the mission, and that usually fixes any bugs with progress not being able to make it. I did throw up a quick video already about that. It's so easy to get to 80 and get to 320 that, like, you can see the smile. It's just like, I'm already at 320 and I'm at 80. So, now when it comes to actually doing the gear farm, so if we look at our solo tab here for wanting to get some aquatic resource matrix, when you want to get on that, there are a few things. Oricron apparently is up, but this character has not unlocked Oricron. I saw it when I was on the Republic side, so yeah, Oricron is a daily area. It takes a while to do. I wouldn't really suggest doing it for the aquatic resource matrix farm. Section X, again, takes a long time to do. I really wouldn't suggest doing it. You can do it if you like it and if you want to. Even on Imp side, it takes quite a while. Pub side, it takes forever. You have to be a stealther to make it even remotely worthwhile on either faction. I wouldn't even bother unless you really like doing the daily area. Don't even bother doing Oricron or Section X. Black Hole, on the other hand, though, is nice and fast. It's a great daily area, farm both Republic and Imperial side. Obviously, a stealther will help you with Black Hole, making it even faster, especially on the Republic side. I think it's one that's worth farming. So go ahead, farm your Aquatic Resource Matrix off of Black Hole. And then when it comes to the actual heroic weeklies, the only one that's really that good on the Imperial side is Dromund Kaas. You're really going to want to be going on to the Republic side to be farming the heroics that are available over on Pub side. Now, when you are on the Republic side, you definitely will want to be looking at farming Tatooine. Tatooine is going to be great. Coruscant is also great. It's very fast. You can do that one quite quickly. It's debatable if you want to do Terrace. Terrace is faster on the Republic side, and so is Alderaan faster on the Republic side, but both of them are a little bit light on the actual time investment, so leave them until the end. So once you hit level 80, you're going to unlock a lot more weekly missions for the operation, so this is good to see. Realistically, the story ones are not worth farming. You could farm 322 gear in story mode. That's the best you can do. So Eternity Vault, totally worth doing. Go do an Eternity Vault. It'll take a lot longer than we're used to in our current gear, but it's definitely doable. It's not crazy hard with 320 gear. EC is available. It's a little bit on the harder side. You want to make sure that your team at least has a decent idea of what they're doing. And then TFB, realistically, it kind of sucks how slow it's going to be if you want to gear up using the operations. It's just too slow because you're going to have to do the majority of your upgrades using the upgrade vendor, as there's not a lot of weeklies that are available other than 322 in story mode, which is frustratingly pointless if you ask me. So if you are really looking to get that 326 gear this week as fast as you can, you're going to want to, as soon as you get level 80, you're going to want to start that gear grind. So on my Muffin Delight, who's at 80 now, I could do Black Hole 3 times already, and I could do the Dromund Kaas heroic 3 times, and then I could pick some of the fastest heroics to do, and I could do just those heroics. And then I'd farm up a bunch of Aquatic Resource Matrix, and Metals Accommodation, you'd probably get a few more just from killing enemies and deconstructing gear. And then I'm going to want to swap onto the next character who can get to level 80 quite quickly. It doesn't have to be someone who's caught up on the story, but why not? It rewards so much XP, it's so great, you get to see the new story, might as well. So probably it will only take 4 tunes getting their conquest to actually get the cap on Metals Accommodation, considering I can get it from other sources. Heck, it might only take 3 tunes because of how much we get from deconstructing the gear you get from in the story. Farm all those Aquatic Resource Matrix on another character, and maybe even on a 3rd character if needed, and then I should have enough that I can upgrade everything to 322, and I've already hit my cap of those 2 resources for the week. Now, if that isn't your goal, and you just want to have some fun, just keep playing. Like, yeah, I'm going to keep playing the story, I'm going to swap over to Republic for now, start playing the Republic story, swap back to the Imperial side. I want to see a bit of both. I'm not going to focus on getting 326 this week. I'm just going to enjoy the story on at least 2 tunes, get them to 80, and then I'll start doing some things like doing my weekly flashpoint missions, doing my heroics, doing the daily area, group up with some friends, have some fun with people. But right now, after I finish editing and uploading this video for you guys, I'm going back to enjoy the story. Alright, have a great day, enjoy 7.0, and we'll see you in the next video.